In the beginning itself, I told you, I am not teaching you. This is just discussion. This is just an interaction. There may be certain things which you may not agree with me. Definitely, you should raise your voice and we should interact. We should talk and discuss about it. I really appreciate that you stood up and shared your views. Thank you so much. Yes.
After so many research, you also did the research and you are taking this discussion on not classroom. So where is that wrong things are going on? Because after independence, before that in the Vedic system of the education and present modern education, still the incidents are happening against of the teacher, against of the student. So what is the wrong? Whether it is the wrong with the system, it is the wrong with our policies, where it is, because people are young people and so many are here, so many researchers are going on. So where is that? Actually, what is the root cause for this one?
Can I answer?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. So as you said, the research studies are going on. Many researches are conducted not only in India, in abroad also. Because as I said, this is not an issue which is happening only in India. Rather, this is an issue which is happening all over the world. Okay, the relationship between student teacher. Luckily in India, no teacher is killed. Abroad, the teachers are killed. The students are coming with. I mean, it's not in my knowledge.
It's happened, sir.
Sir, I'll come to you. Let me respond to sir. I'll come to you. Then the root cause of this thing is, this is a very vast area to be discussed. If I discuss only about the root cause, then again this will take a whole day. So what we can do is, I will definitely be here. We'll discuss about it. After this class is over, formally, I'll be waiting outside for you. We'll be discussing, and even if you want, you can come to the sports psychology lab. There I'm sitting. We can discuss about it. There are many things which I cannot say standing here because I am also a government employee, right, as you. But then there are many things that we can discuss. I am really sorry that this is happening. Even this is happening here. The kind of respect we had to our teachers, we don't get the similar kind of response from our students right now. Maybe we are not that good teachers like our teachers, number one. Number two, maybe the students, whatever, in psychology, there is something called as, learning, this social learning theory. Wherein, people smoking at a younger age, they consider it to be very cool. Carrying a weapon to the school also considered to be very cool. And abusing and, responding back to the teacher is also considered to be cool. So the students in this age, in the school age, they don't realize what they are doing. And when they see that kind of behavior is praised, appreciated, and promoted among the peer members, then they are motivated to behave once again and again in the same way that they behave to the teacher. So why this is happening? I don't have a objective or a very short answer to this. Yes, it is debatable and we can discuss on this. Yes. Sorry, sir. I'll come to this, sir.
It's a peer pressure generally.
Yeah.
All these days, what it could be, what we
Please visit it. Yes, sir.
What we need is every parent, for them the children are very important. And parents are present scenario, almost every parents are working, both husband and wives are working. And the children behavior at home is totally different from the children's behavior at the school. That should be the main motto. And you see, even the teacher complains the parents that your child has done this. None of the parents are ready to believe that my child has done it.
Agreed, sir. I agree.
And they come with an argument, my child will never do. Maybe some other child have done it. They do not want to believe. They do not want to believe. Not that they don't believe. They do not want to believe that my child has done something. That gives an encouragement to a student to misbehave with the teachers or anybody else, any others, whatever you see.
Angry. You should not react. Rather, what you have to do is you have to respond. Focus on the behavior to be corrected. The negative behavior, not the student, must be focus of your statement. So whenever you are saying that this student is bad or this student is not listening to my class, you are branding that student to be bad. So ये नहीं होना चाहिए. कोई student बुरा नहीं होता है. कोई स्टूडेंट गलत नहीं होता है, क्योंकि दे आर जस्ट द किड्स, दे कैन बी करेक्टेड, दे कैन बी द मिस्टेक्स इन देम कैन बी मॉडिफाइड. Sir, what is your name, sir, please? Yes. Sir, what do you have to say on this context, whatever I have you found out any difficulties, any problems with the student in your school, or what is your opinion regarding the student-teacher relation? That is ideally हमें नहीं करना चाहिए, but आपके स्कूल में जैसे कि if you want, would you like to share if you have found out anything wherein the teacher-student relationship you thought was not so very good? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Please sit down. Next slide, please. Yes. Sometimes you avoid it.
You will not allow them to play.
You will not allow them to play.
Experience. Stop.
Okay.
So then next time they come in it. Let the pickup students are playing.
Stop them from playing.
Madam, I'll tell you one thing. You said that you will not allow them to play. You
Some
will.
other work we can give. Training officer.
Yes, that is fine. But when you are not allowing them to play, tomorrow again 5 more students will come.
It's not like that, sir.
No, sir,
If one
there
boy,
should be change, sir.
one is, the whole class comes in like that.
Yeah, sir, with due respect to you, that word, punish, that word of punishment.
No, punishment will stop it from the PD period.
Okay, fine.
The clean
Yeah.
ground, especially.
Yes, sir, please.
I am not for it.
Myself, I am thinking as a leader and a mediator.
So you make them a leader. This is a healthy practice.
Yes.
You make them a leader, and
Sometimes, sir, it will be very dominating this. Why are they?
Okay.
So they rarely get PT periods, and when we punish them, they become more arrogant. Actually, I have found it.
Exercise to them. Do that.
Okay.
I'll
Okay, sirs, anything, please?
They also become a leader, team leader बन जाता है. मैं तो उनको प्री ऑक्युपाइड रखती हूँ.
But होता क्या है in practical life, sir? The days in between whole year 365 days. और ये 365 दिन में सर बराबर नहीं होते. और सर उम्र की वजह से 11 साल की मेरी सर्विस हो गई है, तो पढ़ाने की, और लगभग उससे पहले 20-25 साल की सर्विस हुई थी पढ़ने की. दोनों स्थिति में आगे सर हमने यही समझा कि जो स्थिति आपके लिए सुटेबल हो उसमें आप झेल लीजिए. आइदर इन द कंडीशन ऑफ कि वो बच्चा को स्नैप से मानता है, या आइदर इन द कंडीशन ऑफ कि वो बच्चा तो कि बेटा कोई बात नहीं, जस्ट डू कि आप अच्छा कर रहे हो, वेरी गुड. मैं ये नहीं कहता हूँ सर कि दिस थ्योरी इज टोटली रॉन्ग, बट द थ्योरी हैज बीन इवॉल्व कि द एग्जैक्ट प्लेस which type of activity has to be taken, which type of teachers are to be there, which type of student, which type of mistakes has to be taken place. तो कहने का मतलब ये है सर कि कभी-कभी हम लोग को लगता है कि बच्चा गलत हो सकता है, कभी-कभी लगता है जैसे आपने वीडियो दिखाया, ऐसे न जाने कितने वीडियो सर आ ही नहीं पाते हैं मार्केट में.
सर एक बात बताएं,
आपके पास जो वीडियोस आए, दिस इज द मार्केटिंग. इसमें ये नहीं दिखाया जा रहा है कि एक जगह शिक्षक गलत है, एक जगह बच्चा गलत है. दिस इज नथिंग बट ओनली द मार्केटिंग. एक मार्केटिंग.
सर एक बात बताऊं, I shall I tell you?
Please let him finish, please.
Shall I tell you, sir?
Just let sir finish.
Yeah.
जो है जब to +2 वो एज में जो स्टूडेंट है he is into adolescent period और adolescent age. उस एज में क्या होता है कि जो स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं ना, they need certain kind of attention, they seek certain kind of attention, right? तो आप जब उनको नेगेटिव तरीके से क्या होता है, जैसे कि क्लास में अगर कोई बच्चा मान लीजिए कि आवाज निकालता है, किसी को कुछ नोटरियस एक्टिविटीज, किसी के बाल खींच लेना, किसी के पेपर ले जाना, किसी के जो नोटबुक लेके फेंक देना, ये सब चीजें करने से फिर जब टीचर के पास आता है तो फिर क्लास में एक बहुत बड़ा बवाल होता है, फिर किसने किया, इसने किया। तो अल्टीमेटली क्या हुआ, उसको अटेंशन मिल गया, उसको जो मिलना था। सो आपको क्या करना चाहिए, इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग और शिफ्टिंग मोर अटेंशन टुवर्ड्स द नेगेटिव थिंग्स, आपको ये भी करना चाहिए कि क्लास में जब कोई बच्चा अच्छा असाइनमेंट करके लाता है, यू कॉल हिम ऑन स्टेज, गिव हिम रिस्पेक्ट, गिव हिम राउंड ऑफ अपलॉड। मे बी जो बच्चा मेडल्स लेके आता है उसको भी असेंबली में बुलाएंगे। ये तो सारे आप करते ही होंगे, बट ये जो छोटे छोटे चीजें क्लासरूम में, कोई अच्छा असाइनमेंट लेके आया, कोई अच्छा ड्रेस होके आया, कोई स्मार्टली इंग्लिश में अच्छा स्पीच देता है, तो ये सब चीजों को हमें भी अप्रिशिएट करना चाहिए। So do not only point out the negative things amongst the student, you also should appreciate the positive things or the good achievements of the student in front of everybody, so that the student thinks that the attention is given to me, and the kind of he will not be behaving in a erratic manner to the teachers. Next. Expect students to follow your directions. Give instructions once, twice if you believe the students are deeply involved in an activity and excited and simply did not hear the instruction but no more. See what happens whenever you are giving an instruction. Now suppose for an example, please don't take it otherwise. If suppose all the teachers or the listeners are sitting here, if I tell them once that please don't talk, please don't use your mobiles because that distracts the class. If हमारा स्कूल आ रहा है, पढ़ाई कर रहा है, ग्राउंड में खेल रहा है, he is also enjoying coming to the school and learning different things. The severity of behavior problem seems to be escalating. मैंने ये बोला था आपको कि जो रिलेशनशिप का जो प्रॉब्लम है, स्टूडेंट टीचर, फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर और स्टूडेंट के बीच में जो रिलेशनशिप का जो इश्यूज है, वो धीरे धीरे अभी मतलब बुरा होने लगा है। Even though these problems often originate in the family, society expects educators and physical education teachers to be specific, to manage and sometimes even permanently correct the bad behavior and attitude of the students. मैंने ऐसे भी स्कूल्स देखे हैं, लकीली कोई भी केंद्रीय विद्यालय नहीं है, क्योंकि केंद्रीय विद्यालय आर स्कूल जहाँ की सिस्टम्स बहुत अच्छे हैं. You have got a very good system of conducting classes, conducting dealing with the students. But स्पेशली जो भी प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैं, मैंने मेरे स्टूडेंट्स भी जो जाके जॉब करते हुए आके कंप्लेंट करते हैं, सर हम लोगों को स्कूल में जब बस से बच्चे उतरते हैं तब प्रिंसिपल बोलते हैं कि आप जाके जो बच्चे उतर रहे हैं आपको उन सबको लाइन में लेके आओ. क्यों? बिकॉज आप फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर हैं, आप डिसिप्लिन आपका मतलब पूरा दिस इज योर कप ऑफ टी. It is your responsibility to make all the students in the school to be disciplined, right? तो सोचते हैं कि जो बच्चे का indiscipline जो activities हैं ये घर से शुरू होते हैं. This starts from home. So the care has to be taken. Don't talk, please. Thank you. So the care has to be taken by everyone, by the teacher, by even the physical education teacher and all the teachers, all the members of the school, family, surrounding friends, everybody. But then again, when it comes to blaming, only the PE teachers, to be specific, is blamed because we are the discipline masters, which I don't agree. In a research conducted, nearly 20% of 20,000 teachers reported experiencing a direct threat of personal violence. As I said, the number is not very big. It is only 20% of the number of the total number of teachers who were surveyed. The kind of research was conducted. It was found that they complained experiencing a direct threat of personal violence from the students. So this is the current scenario in India, in the world. Not only in India, even in the world scenario is further worse. Right? So by keeping all these things in mind, we'll proceed further. So earlier days, what is happening? The kind of teachers, not only physical education teachers, all the teachers, we were seeing the kind of indisciplined activity which was limited to chewing tobaccos in the classroom, maybe using bad words to the friends, or maybe kind of indisciplined activity remaining absent in the classes, running away from the classes. But nowadays, what is happening? What we are dealing with is, or what physical education teacher or any subject teacher is dealing with, illegal drug use and addiction, smartphone use, then the weapon possessions. Some people carry lethal gang and group fightings, then sometimes even suicide and murder. So these are the issues which a physical education teacher or a teacher in general is handling. Earlier, Thus, the kind of indisciplined activities, the severity was low. Now the severity is high. Now, when a teacher goes to school to teach, whether he will be handling all these issues or he will be teaching the subject. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. I'll have to go a little quick because I have maybe around 20 minutes left. Next slide. Next. Okay, so as an outline, these are the things that we are quickly going to discuss in today's session. First thing is, all of you must be knowing the principles of teaching. The first principle of teaching is know yourself. So similarly here also, you have to examine yourself, you have to know yourself. Then the second one is use positive approaches, avoid negative approaches, apply counseling techniques, roadblocks to effective communication, evaluation of student behavior and teacher practices in physical education, proactive management methods, pre-instruction, instruction and evaluation. So all these things I was supposed to discuss with you in 1 hour, but now time is not there. Within yes. Sorry. Roadblocks to communication. I'll come to you. I'll come to all these points individually. Okay. So go to next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So once Socrates, a great philosopher, said the unexamined life is not worth living. So if you don't examine yourself as a teacher, you might as well give up now. So as a physical education teacher, from time to time you'll have to evaluate yourself. You'll have to update yourself. So the thing, whatever knowledge or whatever idea you had maybe 5 years back or maybe 10 years back may not be holding the similar kind of meaning right now. So you have to find out, you have to evaluate yourself. And the first question that you have to ask is, am I aware of the situation? यहाँ जैसे कि मैं अगर अभी यहाँ पे एक क्लास दे रहा हूँ, एक टॉक दे रहा हूँ, तो that means जितने भी सारे subjects, जितने भी सारे respected teachers मेरे सामने बैठते हैं, I should be able to see all of them and what is going on. When I am looking at this side, I am on the other side. When I am looking on my left, I also should be knowing what is happening on my right. That means not only you should focus on the best student of the class, you also should have focus and you also should pay attention to the weakest student of your class or the most notorious student of your class. Right? Only when you know the nature of your student, when you know the characteristics or the personality of your student, then only what will happen, you will be able to address them properly or you will be able to guide them properly. Next slide. Am I enthusiastic? First of all, if you are not interested to get up, and go out for kind of doing physical activity, if you don't come to the classes regularly, if you are not interested, then your students also will very much understand that you are not interested. Then they will lose interest, or sometimes they will create some kind of behavioral issues or problem issues in the class. Next thing is, am I flexible, adapt as well as adapt each behavioral strategy? Treat students with respect and always call them by their actual name. See, when you are calling, I have seen many physical education teachers, they have even, out of love and affection, they have given various pet names to different students. You call them, they don't call that particular individual with their right name, they call them with some pet name like XYZ. So which is not correct. You may think that, that is actually working, but when an individual is called by name, suppose my name is Ashutosh, when I am called by Mr. Ashutosh or Dr. Ashutosh, whatever it is, then I feel good because I feel that my presence is important or I have given due importance or due attention. So the students in the teenage, what happens, they seek kind of attention from different sources. So when you call them by their name, they feel respected, right? They also gain the attention whatever they were seeking for, and that way their relation to you will be better, and thereby contributing towards teaching learning situation will be much better. So these things, student perception that instruction knows their names, all these things I have told you affects attitude towards the class, affects the behavior, changes perception of course and instructor. Next, use positive approaches. So can students bring good? Now एक चीज मैं आप सभी जितने भी रेस्पेक्टेड टीचर्स बैठे हैं, मैं एक चीज आप लोगों को पूछूंगा कि आप जब आपका फोकस किस पे रहता है?